What is wrong with people? Can we say it together? We're so glad that you're with us. Thank you for being here and sharing your time. I'm Christi Paul, here with HLN. Let's talk for a new judge to preside over his second-degree murder case and have filed the paperwork now requesting that Judge Jessica... Media organizations, by the way, including CNN, are asking Judge Rick Seidler to reverse her order, meanwhile, to seal court records in Zimmerman's case. The news organizations claim the judge sealed the records without giving the public and the press a chance to object. Now, Florida law requires the judge to consider whether sealing the records will prevent a serious and imminent threat to justice. George Zimmerman's attorney wants to keep those documents sealed because he says witnesses may be threatened or in danger if certain information is released. So that's their motivation there. The Secret Service yanked security clearances for those 11 agents and officers accused of bringing prostitutes to their Colombian hotel. I want to let you know what we know at this. By the way, soliciting prostitutes, we should tell you, is legal in parts of Colombia. Allegedly, there was an argument over payment between at least one agent and one of the women. Also, U.S. government sources say one of the women talked to police and complaints were even filed with the U.S. Embassy. No word yet from those accused agents, but the Secret Service director is said to be shocked by all of this. If any of the agents are exonerated, their security clearances can then be restored. Boy, she lost her entire home in a deadly tornado, but she found something just as precious to her. Strong earthquake hit Chile overnight. Look at this. Their workers are accused of feeding hot sauce to a 13-month-old boy. Well, a judge has just released a teen from jail in 11 minutes after the hour. So glad you're with us. Sugarland's Jennifer Nettles says her band was not responsible for the Indiana stage collapse. An update in the case of an alleged rape victim who was kept behind bars for almost 3 weeks. Prosecutors apparently wanted to make sure that she testifies against the accused rapist. Apparently she had skipped previous court dates. Well, yesterday, the teen got her freedom and an apology from the judge. And as Mike Lurie from affiliate KCRA reports, her release does come with some restrictions. Now, the big question, of course, is will the teen testify against that rapist, accused rapist? Her lawyer says her client is strong, but also scared, as you can imagine. The bottom line is she doesn't know if she's going to testify. Coming up at 3:30, Rochelle Carey's going to talk to Amina Merritt. She is the alleged victim's attorney. So Rochelle will also speak with Sandra Enriquez. She is the executive director of the California Coalition Against Sexual Assault. You do not want to miss those interviews there. Taking charge of your money. Be extra careful when you buy an e-book because apparently people are deliberately writing books with titles that are almost the same as the one you want. They do this to trick you. Fortune magazine has removed thousands of books and it will keep trying to improve the customer experience. But just so you know there, be on the alert. This is... Rocker and conservative activist Ted Nugent is causing a firestorm with his latest comments about the Obama administration. Now, not the first time Nugent has made controversial comments about the Obama administration. The NRA has a section of its website devoted to some of his statements, including profanity-laced comments and threats directed at Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton during the last election. So far, no comment from the Romney campaign on his latest rant. But, you know, a controversial comment about Ann Romney, a stay-at-home mom, had a lot of you talking on Facebook and Twitter even. Well, now a new CNN poll shows support for working moms is growing. And after Democratic strategist Hillary Rosen said Ann Romney, quote, never worked a day in her life, but Rosen has since apologized for that comment. A woman who lost her voice in a car accident 35 years ago has it back. Jan Christi, she found the doctor when a woman overheard her whispering and gave it the doctor's name. That woman had good hearing, didn't she? Jan's voice is expected to improve with therapy. Well, an Arkansas man is accused of holding up a convenience store. According to affiliate KFSM, the suspect told police he wanted to go to jail to see how his family would do without him. Hard work paying off, literally, for some high school students. Some Indiana high schools are going to give cash to students for good grades. The program starts next year at 9 schools. I know you're wondering where the money comes from. Well, apparently private donations are funding that. All righty, speaking of money, you've got until midnight to file your taxes. What if your returns aren't ready, though, or you just can't pay what you owe? HLN's money expert Clark Howard has some answers for you. A lesson in physics was enough to get one scientist out of a $400 traffic ticket. The officer We should have paid attention, right? It was enough for the judge. The physicist says his situation was unique, though. It won't work for everyone. A real turnaround for a bullied teen who went to high school. You'll see what they went through and what's happening now. 2 o'clock, and back to our top story here. George Zimmerman's attorney wants the judge in his second-degree murder case to recuse herself. Including CNN, I want to disclose to you, are challenging the judge's decision to seal court records. Zimmerman's attorney says it's necessary to protect potential witnesses in the case, but the media say the judge didn't give them a chance to oppose that closure, which they're supposed to do. And now that a trial seems to be forthcoming here, a lot of people are wondering how impactful Florida's so-called Stand Your Ground law will be. Sanford police said they initially released Zimmerman because he was protected under that law. It was enacted in 2005 by then-Governor Jeb Bush and states that as long as a person isn't engaged in illegal activity and they are being attacked, that they can use deadly force if they reasonably believe their life is in danger. Well, Michael Yaki is a U.S. Commissioner on Civil Rights, and he says he wants Stand Your Ground statutes investigated because he told our Dr. Drew, he says there are racial biases built into the law. And we'll obviously keep you posted on what's happening in that case. Now, listen to this one. Police in Las Vegas say a 9-year-old boy went to school and just told people his mother and sister had been shot dead. A lot of people wondering if we could finally get some answers in the disappearance of baby Gabriel now that opening statements are beginning in the trial of a woman accused of trying to illegally adopt that little school student who was bullied is getting flooded now with support from other students that she's never even met. Catherine Bertram from our affiliate WSOC in Charlotte, North Carolina, has more for us. Bless her heart. Again, thanks to Catherine Bertram from affiliate WSOC in Charlotte, North Carolina, for bringing us that story. Well, the shuttle Discovery put on a show. You know, I kept asking if you won the lottery, if you would go public. I asked that on my Facebook and Twitter pages, but the final winner of that record Mega Millions jackpot is going public tomorrow. Lottery officials in Illinois say the winner will be at a press conference. Apparently, that state requires lottery winners to speak to the media. Lottery officials say it's to prove that the prizes do get handed out randomly. So that winner is going to get $218 million before taxes, and they can't hide it from anybody now. Boy, what a sight in the skies over Washington, D.C. today as the Space Shuttle Discovery took a victory lap of sorts around town and passed some of our country's most famous monuments, of course. It's about to be retired at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. Well, John, boy, people can't stop talking about this photo showing Pippa Middleton and a friend who seem to be waving, the friend seems to be waving what looks to be a gun at photographers. Now, it's not the first time Pippa's had trouble with paparazzi. An editor at a London paper said he would get 400 photos of her a day on his desk. And CNN's Richard Quest said, we've kind of seen this pattern before. Kind of frightening to hear it in that way, isn't it? Pippa is the sister, of course, of Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, and there's still no comment from her or the royal family about this. Depressed moms? Defense Secretary Leon Panetta says he regrets that his frequent flights home to California cost so much. Well, a police chief in central Georgia is making no apologies after a 6-year-old kindergartner was handcuffed at school for throwing a fit. I'm telling you about a new documentary called Bully. Well, that was David Long, whose son Tyler commits suicide because he was being bullied. The documentary tells the story of kids and parents going through the terror of bullying in their schools. HLN's Vinnie Politan spoke to Tyler's parents last night. Boy, bless their hearts. The movie Bully is showing in theaters around the country. George Zimmerman is still in a Florida jail, but it looks like a 4-foot portrait is the work of art student Andy Bell. He titled it Fear Itself. You know, if you are feeling depressed, you may be creating sleeping problems for your baby without even knowing it. Small studies suggest moms with higher symptoms of depression are more likely to wake up at night, so they wake up their babies even if they're okay. And apparently it becomes a vicious cycle because less sleep can increase a mom's depression. Well, a North Carolina woman who questioned her own self-worth is using running to give young girls confidence. Molly Barker is today's breakthrough woman. Love it. Well, some kids who love hockey, well, because one just is not enough. Paul McCartney made 3 versions of his latest music video. Why not, when they feature 2 of the most famous stars in the world who are pretty easy on the eyes, guilty of us spending that money. Are you ready for some hockey action? Well, hundreds of kids were when they faced off at a big hockey festival in Texas over the weekend. All of these players had some form of disability, but they came ready to prove that some limits are only in the mind. Here's Joel Thomas of affiliate KTVT. Oh, thanks to KTVT for the story, by the way. So do you love the Google Doodle, you know, the different image every day on... Some people, this is great, are calling a Colorado man's obituary the best out of it. The judge in the George Zimmerman case says there is a possible conflict of interest.